Dave Friday, and joining us today is a billionaire, and a reality competition show judge, which are the only two qualifications to be president these days.
I mean, you're already here.
You're hired.
Please welcome Mark Cuban.
By the way, Joy, I don't know if everyone noticed, but he waited for all the ladies to sit down before he sat down.
He's a gentleman, yes.
He's a gentleman. It's very
Which just
chivalrous.
set him above the bar we had before.
Which was Trump.
Very
yeah,
chivalrous.
I know. I've mentioned that you're a billionaire.
Yeah, you can say that again. I like it.
He's buying lunch. He already knows.
But you seem to be an actual real billionaire. I don't know. Do you think Trump is a real billionaire?
Yeah, I have the billion. He has the air.
Bam! I've always questioned how much money he really has. We haven't seen his taxes.
Yeah, why doesn't he show his taxes?
Because there's nothing to show. I mean, I don't know why he doesn't show his taxes. I mean,
yes.
Look, he's probably, it'll be close, right? Look, the guy's made money, but that doesn't qualify.
This is what we want to know. Is he hiding the fact that he doesn't have the money, really? Or is he hiding the fact that he did business with the Russians?
I think both.
I think one seems more wrong to him, which is he'd be more embarrassed by his ego, I think, than what he doesn't see as wrong anyway.
No question. Yeah,
or
the
lack of charity as well, because he said he's been very
he doesn't care about that.
By the way, how do I lower my chair? I'm so distracted by. Oh, here it is. Thank you. I've been trying to lower it for like 3 minutes.
Okay, so Mark, your name has actually been tossed around as a potential presidential candidate. I mean, let's make some news here. Are you into it?
Definitely. No. We'll see what happens.
Right.
Well, wait, I do have a message from Mr. President about that. There was a time where he tweeted you. I remember reading this when it happened, and it made me laugh so hard. So typical. I know Mark Cuban well. He backed me big time, but I wasn't interested in taking all of his calls. He's not smart enough to run for president.
There's nothing more surreal. No, wait, there's nothing more surreal. I wake up in the morning, kiss the wife, laying there in bed, pick up my phone, and I see an alert. Oh, the president tweeted about me. I mean, it's like, and then the hard part wasn't what he said, because he's an idiot. I don't care what he says, right? But the hard part, I got thick skin, he doesn't. But the hard part was, how do I respond, right? So literally.
So many things.
Yeah, so literally for the next hour, and I ended up with just, you know what, LOL.
LOL. You gotta speak the language. So you're not going to be announcing your bid for 2020 here on The View?
Not today.
Maybe later in the show.
I mean, basically, you can have even more competition, because Joe Biden sounds like he's leaving the door open to run, too. He also admitted another thing about Joe Biden, who's 74.
He would be 78 in
2020. In 2020?
Yes, in 2020.
And so let's talk about that for a second.
Maybe he's
what do you think about that? Well, I have some age things here. I mean, Ruth Bader, what's her name?
Ginsburg
is 84.
But she just sits.
Well, so does Donald. When does he move? John McCain is 80. He's pretty vibrant.
McCain's 80?
He's 80.
Incredible.
And Bernie Sanders is 75.
Joe Biden would be great. He goes down the middle. He can deal with Republicans. He can deal with Democrats. That's his greatest strength. But age matters, right? And there's a lot of expectations. And so whether or not he's got it in him to really fight through the next those 4 years, because who knows where he's going to be in 4 years from now.
And I think there's a lot of buyer's remorse, too, for so many people. And now hindsight's always 20/20, because he probably knows, had he gone up against Donald Trump, and he's hearing that every day, he could have won, because he does have a way of just really, he's got this magnetic personality. You're drawn to him, whether or not you agree with his policy.
But he also has experience, right? I mean, what happened to experience? I mean, when I heard that The Rock is thinking about running for president.
Wait, it is The Rock Johnson.
Wait. Do not knock The Rock. Yes,
he's.
Don't knock The Rock.
Don't knock The Rock. I mean, he is seriously considering this in 2020. He says he has a skill set that people are looking for. He's able to really.
He's going to be an
He's able to galvanize people, or he'll kill you if you don't vote for him. He'll get you in the ring, and he'll kill you.
First of all, I commend anyone that speaks that they want to be the president, because we speak here all the time, about it's our job to participate, whether it's on the grassroots level or not. So if someone wants to risk this and go out, considering what we have now, bravo. I'd rather have people
City council. I mean, talking about experience, you own the Dallas Mavericks, right? I mean, I'm a lawyer. I like basketball.
Yes, we know that. Right? She's a lawyer. Remember Star Jones? Star Jones, I'm a lawyer. Remember that?
She's a former
prosecutor. In terms of my qualifications, I'm a lawyer. I like basketball.
But it's
Can
a job-
I run the Mavericks for you?
But it's not the same thing, right? No one's ever totally qualified to be the president.
No.
So what it takes are leadership skills so that you know what you don't know.
But isn't it a more
Yeah, and no one
important
else
job
to
than
put a
running
smart
the
people
Dallas
around you.
Mavericks?
One at a time.
No, it's totally different, right? Because, look, you're never going to know everything to be the president. So you have to be smart enough to say, here's where my strengths are. Here's what I don't know. Let me go out and find the best people to do that.
Yep.
Right? And then listen to those people.
Yeah.
Look, you can make an argument that Donald Trump has hired some good people around him. Maybe some you don't like, but he's put some good people around.
Okay.
But he never listens. Right? And if you're not willing to listen, if you're not willing to learn, because the entire job, the only certainty of the job of president is the uncertainty. You don't know what's
So
next.
would you hire someone with no experience in basketball to run your organization?
Everybody's always a rookie when they first step on the court for the
You know
first
what?
time. When you walked out and you prosecuted a case, or in trial, you have to do it for the first time. And
Right.
the question is, what are your skills when you walk in, and how willing are you to learn? And that's what's missing.
But you
right
haven't
now.
answered the question.
All right.
Would you hire someone like me to run your
looking for a job.
organization?
I bought the team with no experience, and yes, I would hire you if you were smart, if you had leadership skills, and you were willing to do the work.
Too
Yes.
bad you're not going to get hired.
What do you want to say? What do you want to say?
I'm not qualified.
No, she
You're
can do anything.
qualified.
Sonny can do everything.
I'll do ticket sales.
But
How about that?
So the problem with what you're saying, that he has some kind of ADD or something, right?
Or something.
He can't
Yes.
pay attention.
He's oblivious to life. You cannot be, he has no self-awareness. He has no contextual awareness. He is oblivious to everything. He's not very smart. But
Do you-
other than that, he's a great
Do you
president.
ever watch him when? So do you ever watch him when he's got some kind of a foreign dignitary there, like Abbas from the Middle East, and yesterday he had the guy from Colombia there, and they're speaking, and you know he's thinking to himself, I got to go home and watch my stories. I wish they would hurry up here. He's like got something else he wants to do.
When you look at a transcription, that's the part that actually concerns me, all joking aside. You read what he says, and you cannot piece together his thought, what he's trying to say. He jumps around to different topics, and you look at it, and it actually, I've mentioned this before, has me concerned as there are illnesses, there are things that happen, and there's a point where he thinks he's making sense, but
Yeah.
you can't
Well,
understand
let me
it.
show you something, because today Trump heads out to the Middle East. God forbid.
Saudi Arabia.
Right, what's going to happen there?
Right.
And hopefully he's getting a crash course in how to pronounce world leaders' names, because it's long overdue. Watch this.
Recep Tayyip Erdogan,
President Erdogan, President Erdogan, President Erdogan,
Elie Wiesel,
Elie Wiesel,
Angela Merkel,
Angela Merkel.
Beyonce,
That Jay-Z said or that Beyonce said,
Nazi,
the Nazis,
Tanzania,
Tanzania.
You try to say Mahmoud Ahmadinejad 3 times fast.
I know, it's
Yeah,
hard.
well, why would you, right? But that's not the point. He has at his disposal every resource of this country. All you got to do is ask. How do you spell?
Well, maybe
How do you get
the entire
Beyonce
country
wrong?
is
How do you get
That's what I'm
Beyonce
saying.
wrong?
Maybe some of those world leaders in Tanzania, maybe those aren't things that are on kind of in his ether. But
Yeah.
Beyonce?
The Queen Bee?
Yeah.
Come on.
What about Angela Merkel? Come on, everybody knows it's not Angela.
But I'm saying if you never venture out of the and you don't read news, you don't do anything. Beyonce's in your face all the time.
All the
Beyonce?
time. It's lemonade.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Next week on The View, we're diving into more red hot topics.
It is out of control.
And our political view is sizzling when Donald Rumsfeld faces the ladies. Plus, we can't wait to hang with Chelsea Handler, Deborah Messing, and 2 Chainz.
It just doesn't get any better than this.
Next week on The View on ABC. Still ahead, Emmy-winning Transparent star Jeffrey Tambor talks about going back into Arrested Development.
Welcome back to the show. Okay, so the gender pay gap in Hollywood is back in the headlines, but actress Rose Byrne doesn't even want to talk about it. She says to ask the people in power about it. Now, Mark, you're a powerful person.
He's a billionaire.
Yes,
With a B.
And you didn't know, but I've been nominated for movies I produced or executive produced, been nominated for 7 Academy Awards.
Really?
Have not won- yeah.
Number one?
No, I haven't won
Still
yet.
a bridesmaid. Nomination is a win.
So it's not enough to just be a billionaire. You even have to be that.
Right?
He gets
No.
bored. He has to keep doing stuff.
And he's running for president, everybody. Did we tell you that?
And I'll be serving sandwiches later.
So give us the audience that, during the commercial breaks, a lot of time people ask, how do you get to be, a journalist? How do you get to be a lawyer? How do you get to be a comedian? What do you tell women about the pay gap?
You got to be aggressive, right? I mean, anybody who works for me, I kind of divide into two categories. Are you creating stress or are you reducing my stress? And if you're creating stress, then that's a separate problem. But if you're creating quality work for somebody, you have to be willing to walk in and say, I'm confident in my job. If you want to keep me, you're going to have to pay me more. And not gender equality, pay me what I'm worth. And if that's more than the man sitting next to me, so be it. But part of that, there's a part two to it, right? You've got to be willing to have them call your bluff, right? If you have to move, you might have to move to take a different job. And that's been a lot of the challenge, particularly now. Back in the day, people would relocate for new jobs because they'd get more money. Now people don't want to relocate as much. And that's part of the challenge. So whether, no matter who you are, when you walk in the door, you have to be willing to walk in, give a good case why you should pay me more. And if they don't, you've got to go to the next job.
You've got to be willing to walk away.
You've got to be able to go to the next job.
Let's say I'm making $100,000 a year, and I come to you. That's what I was paid. And I say to you, I want $200,000. Is that a legitimate request? Or
I'm going to say, I'll help you find your next job.
Okay. So let's say I'm making 50. Let's say I'm more than
So let's just say you're making 50.
Let's say I'm making 30,000. Okay. What should I ask for?
It just depends on the circumstances, right? What you shouldn't do is think, well, this company's making so much money. If I ask to go to 30 to 40, right? You have to do your homework and say, okay, what are people around me making? Don't be afraid to talk to the people around you.
How do you find that out?
Because you have to ask. You have to ask, right? But when you talk in the lunchroom, when you talk at the water cooler, ask, because everybody's in the exact same boat. Now, not everybody's going to tell you, but
you don't know what to ask for a lot of times. And I feel like some of these companies, I know I've been in that situation where I was stepping into the same shoes that my successor was a male, and they offered me 30 to 40% less.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
and I walked away.
And that's what you have
then you
to
should
do.
have.
I know, but it's offensive at the same time.
Sometimes you don't know how much.
Wait, can I ask one question? Mark was saying talk to people around you. I'm always fearful when you speak up in those situations. So let's say Sonny's asking me, what do you make? I'm fearful that Sonny walks into a meeting and said, well, Sarah says she makes isn't there retribution for sharing?
There certainly can be, but is it worse than not getting the raise? And plus, let me just add this. If you've been at the company for a few years, and most likely that's the foundation for you asking for a raise, right? You know what your raises have been. So if you've been getting 2%, 3%, 5%, then it's okay to ask for 7%, 8%. If you're going to ask for 25 or 30, that's a mistake. Now, if you're in a talent-based position...
What if you feel like you're worth double?
Well, then you have to convince your boss.
You're going to need to have a conversation with your ego and you can bring it down a notch.
There's been situations where someone's walked in and I knew they were valuable to me, and they went from 100 to 200 to 250 because I can't live without them. The challenge is being honest with yourself. Can they live without you? Yes or no?
I used to have a manager who would ask for a lot on a Friday. And then I said, they're not going to give that to me. And he'd go, well, we can always roll over on Monday.
It's true.
So you say, I'm leaving if you don't give it to me. And then on Monday you say, she was kidding.
Look,
you think that's a good strategy?
And do you find that men also ask more often for more money than women do?
Not anymore.
Oh.
Right. No, I deal in the tech world, right? And it's a big issue with women and gender equality. And without question, more and more women are being aggressive and having, and not even aggressive, that's the wrong word, having the confidence to walk in. And I'll tell you what's even better. Of my Shark Tank companies, I'd say I've closed 70, probably 30, give or take 1 or 2, are run by women. And so where I'm seeing a real explosion is in women entrepreneurs. That is just exploding. And the best way to predict your own economic future is to create it yourself and go start something.
One last question. When you said don't be unreasonable, don't come in with 100 and ask for 200, can you come in with your best research and say, I want this much more, and say, but tell me what you can do if you can't do that? Is there a way to cushion it in case you're kind of undermining yourself by asking for too much?
No, what you can say is, look, I've been getting a 3% raise every year. I think I've contributed quite a bit. And this year, I'd like to ask for a 5% raise.
That's reasonable.
Knowing that if you continue to do a good job next year, right? Because it's not always about what you get right now.
It's the jump the next
time.
Right.
Where are you going? Because is this a career or is this a stepping stone? And if it's a stepping stone, ask for everything knowing you can go somewhere else. If it's a career, plan for the future instead of trying to get it all right
Really
now.
quickly, I wonder if you could just tell us why you said during the break that Trump is right to hire his children.
No, I'm not saying he was right. No, what I said with Donald Trump, when I see somebody in a business and almost everybody who's in senior management is a family member, that's a real sign that they don't know how to hire, they don't know how to manage, and they don't know how to
A lot
lead.
of dictatorships have that too.
Well, because that's the trust factor, right? You don't hire based off of quality. And I'm not saying anything. Ivanka's brilliant, right? The boys are okay, but he's not. There's your gender equality, right? But he doesn't have people that have been with him a long time that are now in the White House that aren't related to him or in his Trump companies. That's a bad sign.
And very insular too.
And he's very insecure about it, and that's why you need family members.
All right, before we go, I want to just tell people to pick up the June edition of Essence Magazine to check out Sonny's final thoughts. What does that mean, final thoughts?
I'm on the last page of the magazine, and apparently being on the last page is sort of a big deal.
The best for last.
But what a title, final
Can I get your
thoughts.
autograph?
It's like you're going to die in 6
No, but
months.
it's the column
These
is
are my final thoughts.
the column is about this experience here at the table and
really?
how it's actually very difficult to be vulnerable and talk about your personal life, your faith, your family on national television. So, but you need a voice, and that people can use their voice all around our country, and that they need to.
Okay, good. It's great. So pick up a copy. We'll be right back.
Later, Cougar season. Why older women should be on the prowl for younger men.
We're back. So women are turning on each other right now. You know which women?
What?
3 years after Taylor Swift allegedly dissed Katy Perry with her song Bad Blood, Katy Perry and Nicki Minaj seem to be clapping back with their new song Swish Swish. What is it called?
Swish swish.
Clapping or crapping?
Clapping back.
Yeah, crappy.
I never. Yes, I learn new words here all the time. And I'm teaching Donald Trump. So listen, take a listen. So maybe Katy should shake it off, huh? You didn't know I knew that, did you?
I didn't.
Where's the Bad Blood reference, Joy?
So is Katy trying to get the last word in? And what do you think about that? Like, if you have a fight with somebody, should you be the one to have do you have to have the last word, or do you let it go?
You have to have the last word.
You have to.
On Shark Tank, always the last word.
Right? Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, you need the last
Well, that's a different thing.
That's one thing I think I hate about myself is that I feel like even growing up with my brother, when we were fighting, they had to get like the last nudge in. I still have to get. Sorry, are you okay? You're so fragile. I still have to get the last word in with my husband and just in general, and it bothers me. And now I see that it's amplified. I see it in my children, and I realize how annoying it is. And
because
I
the
don't wanna be
last
like that.
word always provokes yet another word.
Exactly.
It doesn't end there.
Cycle,
Well,
vicious
it's got to
cycle.
be clever, because the other thing is that whole quantity versus quality is lost on me. Like, I'll be in a fight and someone will say something, I'm like, whatever. And then you say it like 3 more times, you're like, I've got nothing but whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
And like, you're losing. It's so
But
bad.
there's with your siblings and your family, where you always do it. And then there's real world, right? Like for most of the real world, I think I'm polite, nice, whatever. But you give me with my brothers.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 younger brothers.
Oh, younger.
Three boys. There are
Younger,
3 boys in the
and
family.
what's that?
3 boys.
Are they billionaires too?
No, but
They did
it's
other
a
things
family.
really well.
It's a family, so
They're in the will, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for my brother who didn't give me the last word. He's out.
What do they do, your brothers?
They both work for me now. One's attorney,
for you.
and one does entertainment stuff for me.
Brother, can you spare a dime?
Brother,
huh?
can you spend like a lot of time?
So, go ahead. I just think when you have an argument, there's always 2 perceptions anyway, so it can go on and on and on. Because Katy thinks she's right, the other
Well,
one
they're all
thinks she's
singers.
right.
They can always write a follow-up song that has.
Business,
It's a
right?
marketing
Yes.
tool,
I
right?
think it's a marketing tool. That's what I was going to say.
We're
so-
Talking about it, so
They're
of course
secretly
it's
probably
marketing.
really close, and like we just keep playing this out.
I don't think
laughing
that.
at us.
Well, I don't think that
I
either,
don't think
but
that. But men do it too, right, in the business. Drake did Back to Back, which was about Meek Mill.
Right.
You had John Mayer talk about sexual napalm and Your Body's a Wonderland with Jessica
Sexual
Simpson.
napalm?
Yeah.
Jessica
Which was
Simpson
kind of
was the Body is a Wonderland?
Yeah.
That is terrible.
Jessica Simpson was Your Body is a Wonderland.
See, now that's,
I always loved her.
I don't want to bring the table down, but that's a
Yeah, I mean, it's like
That is a sick title.
I think
What?
people all.
the napalm reference.
That's
Yeah.
a famous quote in a movie. I like the smell of napalm in the morning.
That was a comedy.
That wasn't a comedy.
Good Morning Vietnam. Yes, it was.
I thought it was Apocalypse Now. It's Apocalypse Now.
Right back. I'll tell her about that.
You're getting the last word in here.
Guys, let me ask you something. Welcome back to the show. What do you think about, do you think it counts in the social media era? Do you think cheating counts in that way? Like if you are, you do.
If you're poking someone on Facebook, yes.
Well, if you're poking them in real life, yes, also. But if you're poking them or you're contacting them, but you have a relationship,
Like if you're
is
looking
that
up
cheating?
ex-boyfriends or ex-girlfriends, do
you
you look
did
up your
just
exes?
I look them up.
You follow
Oh,
them?
hell yes, I look up old girlfriends. Oh, yeah, I want to know. Are you kidding me?
All right.
What do you want to know, though?
I want to see how they're doing. Look, first of all, the girlfriends I had through college and then right before I got married, I'm still friends with.
Are
right?
they
And my
married to billionaires?
No, but they never thought I'd be a billionaire, so. So.
But why are you still friends with them?
Because we were friends then. I mean, it's just.
How can you be friends with someone you've seen naked?
Oh, that's easy.
You're assuming that
Wait,
they did
tell me,
the
men
naked.
walk down the street and assume everyone's naked. So, like, that really narrows the pool.
But you
So I had a boyfriend years and years ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth, and all these years I've been wondering, where is he? You know, what happened to the guy?
Did you find him on Facebook?
So I looked him up, you know, and over the years I've checked him out. But now that this is easier to do, and we have a research department here.
That's cheating.
I know. So wait. So I had a research team. My man Sam, he's the brilliant researcher.
Really?
So he found him. Wait a second.
What's his name?
I'm not telling his name.
Give the code name.
No. It doesn't matter what his name was because the story is that he's dead.
Oh!
He's dead.
Oh.
He's dead.
But why?
And he died young too. I was so upset.
No.
So this is the real mistake I made. I told my husband about it. Like as if he's my therapist or something.
That's really sad.
And so I said to him, imagine that. I looked him up and blah, blah, blah. He said, so you can't nurse that fantasy anymore.
But I think there's a difference. Yeah.
So
Steve didn't like it, did he? He
didn't really like it. But hello, Steve, you're alive. The guy's dead.
He's not a friend.
You win.
You win.
But why keep in touch and why the desire to look?
I wasn't going to keep in touch.
You said look up. That's different.
Why the desire to look up?
Facebook, you get to see all the pictures, their kids, you know, who you still keep in touch
Sometimes you
with.
miss their family. I want to see like
And
what
plus, you
they're.
have mutual friends, right? We were friends with so-and-so. Are you still in touch with them? Still hanging
We
out?
just want to know what happened.
But here's the problem:
Yeah.
when you're checking to make sure that you've chosen wisely. If you know what I mean. Is that why you're checking?
I
What's
won
the
lottery.
intent?
It's not one or the
Yeah,
other.
your
You
wife
can
is
have
beautiful.
that and be loyal and also
I-
digistalk over here. It's just like a visual medium. It's like checking it out.
It's very
You
malignant
don't have to
for
like
you.
their photos. I mean,
Do we have another subject? Huh? I'm looking for a subject here. So when I was in college, I made a presentation about why older women should go for younger men. And it turns out I was right. I actually did a speech about this.
Really?
And one of the main reasons is that because women die older than men, if the man is younger, let's say 5-6 years,
Might die at the
they
same
will
time.
die at the same time. So you're not really left
Very
alone.
noble.
Isn't that a good idea?
It's a great idea.
But how many? But who's
the three of us are older.
Yeah.
Is your wife younger or older?
Yes,
Yeah,
barely.
she's younger.
Oh, you went younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went
Well,
younger.
he's a man.
Yeah.
They always go younger.
They always go younger.
Always.
You know
why?
why?
Why do men always go younger?
Because
they
we
look good?
can.
You know, it's true. Yeah.
Men go younger. I think
went younger.
men can have children through, till eternity. And I think a lot of times men choose someone younger because they get married
It's not
later.
working.
But when
That
I
old
was in my
sperm is
20s,
not working that well
When I was
these
in my
days.
20s, I loved older
No.
women because I loved being trained.
Oh.
That's all I'm going to say.
That is true.
You like being trained, but then
You're
when you
talking
want
sexually, Mark?
Oh
Talking
my
sex-
gosh.
Among other things, yeah.
Sexually, he's
oh,
talking.
absolutely. When you're 20 years old. Yeah.
You do have to shape the younger men and mold them into the men that you want them to be.
Yeah.
There's something to be said
And
for
I
that.
told him to shape early, shape often.
We've learned. I have to say, we've learned a lot about this billionaire today. He hires his relatives. He had an older woman teach him how to do it. And we'll be right back.
Hi guys. I'm Jeffrey Tambor, and I know I'm supposed to do a tease for you guys, but I have to tell you, I'm so engrossed in this wonderful book I'm reading. I just can't put it down. It's well, it's important.
Hey, he is somebody. Please welcome Jeffrey Tambor.
So pleased
you
to
know
be
we
here.
love you.
I love you.
We love you too.
Oh, I love you.
I love you more. And we hear that you love Mark also.
Well, my son and I, Gabriel, he is 12.
Oh.
I have 5 children. I have a daughter who's in her late 30s. She's 41. And then we go to 12, 10, and 2 7s. And my 12-year-old Gabriel and I, after we put all the kids together, we go into my office and we watch Shark Tank.
Oh,
Thank you for that.
And when I tell him, I live north of a city. When I tell him I was on with you, because we have a bet. When people come out, we can tell whether they're going to be successful. As can you, because I can do you. I can do you go.
Oh, wow.
It's a real place.
That's just kind of sad.
Yeah,
a little sad for you.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome.
No,
So most people hire fancy publicists to get some buzz for their books, but you recruited your children. Let's watch this.
Does anybody know what I do for a living?
You go, hey now.
No.
What?
No, I don't go hey now. I did so on the show. Do you know what I do for a living?
I have no idea what that means. What was it like to make your Broadway debut?
Don't talk about the book at all, by the way. Don't worry about that. It'll just sell itself.
When did you start going to school?
Oh my God.
So cute. Your debut.
Yeah.
The debut.
It's in my debut. Listen, they came in at the right price. And I said, give them a chance, you know?
They pronounce words as well as the president does.
Exactly.
So are you happy you did that?
I was very happy. It is the spirit of the book. This is not a celebrity book. I'm not a celebrity.
You might be, but go on.
I'm a celeb. And it's sort of like a love letter to my kids. This is why Daddy walks around mumbling. They have no idea what I do for a living. They think I eat lunch because they come on the set when I'm having lunch, and so they go. I guess he eats lunch. And this Are You Anybody was said to me at the Broadhurst Theater when I was doing a play with George C. Scott. It was pre-paparazzi, pre-selfie, and it was one of those autograph hounds, and he looked at me and went, "Are you anybody?" And I looked at him and I thought for a long time, I went, "No." So that's my answer.
The book is hysterical, by the way, because there's a whole section where any guy that will air out their embarrassing moments in a full 10-part series is a man after my own heart. But
What are you going to go for?
No, I'm not going to make you call out one of those. You get mistaken a lot for a lot of different people when
Yes,
you
I do.
say, are you anybody?
Yeah.
One spitting image, though, I saw this picture. I think we have it here.
Oh.
Is Dr. Phil.
Oh my God.
That is not two Dr. Phils.
That's incredible.
And I was on Dr. Phil's. It's close, right?
Were you dressed up as Dr. Phil in that
No,
photo? You
no.
happen to look like him.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. I mean, it looks like you were dressing up as Dr. Phil.
Why would I dress up as Dr. Phil? I'm sorry. Was I rude? I don't mean to be rude. But why would I get up in the morning, put on a mustache? But I do get Dr. Phil, and I now say, bless you.
Sorry.
Are you okay?
Wait, did you just
Are you all right?
Yes, so what? Move on.
I'm
Okay,
good.
go ahead.
Don't get mad. So people say, "Are you Dr. Phil?" And I now
Dole out medical advice.
I dispense advice on the street,
Oh my gosh.
and I say, "How's that going for you?"
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what it feels like to go off the rails a little bit. But I mean, you've had the luxury of working with some of the most accomplished actresses in your history.
Yeah.
But you say that Helen Mirren in particular was so convincing. You had no idea she was
Men
acting.
except Mark and I are fools.
Okay, so
well,
what happened?
except Mark. What happened was I was doing the Twilight Zone with Helen Mirren, the great, what is she, Lady Mirren. Dame, sorry, Lady Dame Mirren. And there was a kissing scene, and we threw ourselves into the kiss, and I went, as a man would, I went, oh, Helen has fallen in love with me. What are we going to do? Now, I didn't understand what, after that, we just sat there in silence. I went, oh, she's being very coy. What shall we tell Taylor?
We went, because this happened in the mid-'80s. We went to the Wayback Machine. We have this clip. I want you to give us a little bit of play-by-play as we play the clip.
You guys.
Roll that beautiful footage.
I take it back. She was in love with me.
Tears. It looked like you were crying.
I think
she thought she was kissing one of the Smith brothers.
What is that? I looked like I was doing the Last Testament. What was that? I don't even remember having that. I should have just taken that and put that on top. But she is one of our best.
She looks gorgeous. Look at her.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
So you earned another Emmy this year for your iconic role as Mara on Transparent. Shows love. We all think it's amazing.
Thank you.
But now you're in season 3.
Yeah, 4.
4? No, 3 seasons in 3. Yeah. So it's not an easy role, but has it gotten any easier to play her?
It's a learning experience. She is my teacher. She is my best friend. But every day I go to, as I say in the book, it's so interesting to say, as I say in the book. I've never said that in my life.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah. And can they come home? They wouldn't be interesting to live your life if you say something pithy in your house and there's applause. That would be great. What was I saying?
As you said in the book.
As I say in the book, every day I go on the set, there's that tap, 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 do it right, do it right, do it right, because even though we're a comedy and even though we're a family and blah, 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 and Amazon, lives are at stake, and it's very, very, very important.
Your kids like the character, by the way, just quickly. Did the kids like the character?
They love the character. Evie came on the set.
Oh, yeah.
And my wife and I are going, hoo-ha, hoo-ha, daddy, and Evie stopped me at 10 years old, and she said, Daddy, I understand. Your character is more comfortable being a woman.
That's so cute.
From the mouth of babes.
That's right. But before we go, we've got some big Arrested Development news this week. Netflix just greenlit a new season of Arrested Development. So congratulations on that. But as your show's creator put it, we all felt that stories about a narcissistic, erratically behaving family in the building business and their desperate abuses of power are really underrepresented on television these days. So there's that.
You talk about this a bit, do you not?
A little bit, yeah.
That's in your wheelhouse.
Well, we have had 2 of the hardest working men in the world right here sitting at our table. That's Jeffrey Tambor. Are You Anybody is available now, and everyone in the audience is going home with a copy.
Sizzle.
And welcome back, everyone. Tonight on 2020, Elizabeth Vargas takes you on a year-long investigation into the effects of so-called digital addiction. It airs at 10 p.m. here on ABC at 10 p.m. Eastern. And digital addiction, it is real.
It's a real thing.
It's real for adults. It's real for children. I know so many of us struggle with it. We don't have a phone with us.
When do you know you're addicted, though? When are you addicted?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Joy, because it is a subject that we've been concerned about here at this table, and I think we have some footage.
What are you looking at, Joy?
For God's sakes.
Busted.
Is that during the commercial break, or is that
she does it? She does it all the time.
Now, which guy are you looking up on Facebook?
No,
I got a lot of old boyfriends to look up.
It's either political news breaking or it's lasagna. It's recipes and the news.
And you know what?
does it on your, you do it on your watch.
But look at what I just got. Tell me if I've been hacked into. A current open position in Tennessee has opened up.
Delete it. Don't open it.
I'm not opening it. The people are getting this type of stuff now.
I know.
I don't. He said, if you're interested in this job, you know, hit this.
But you see, why do you have a job
see what she's focused on?
Her ringer is Call Me Maybe, and it's gone off twice that I can recall in the last month.
Yes. So call me maybe.
That's 2 problems right there.
You know. This class is getting detention.
Yes, please.
So I have to thank Mark for guest hosting with us today.
They wouldn't be interesting to live your life
Yes,
if you say something pithy in your house and there's applause. That would be great. What was I saying?
As you said in the book.
As I say in the book, every day I go on the set, there's that tap, 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 do it right, do it right, do it right, because even though we're a comedy and even though we're a family and blah, 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 and Amazon, lives are at stake, and it's very, very, very important.
Your kids like the character, by the way, just quickly. Did the kids like the character?
They love the character. Evie came on the set.
Oh, yeah.
And my wife and I are going, hoo-ha, hoo-ha, daddy, and Evie stopped me at 10 years old, and she said, Daddy, I understand. Your character is more comfortable being a woman.
That's so cute.
From the mouth of babes.
That's wow. But before we go, we've got some big Arrested Development news this week. Netflix just greenlit a new season of Arrested Development. So congratulations on that. But as your show's creator put it, we all felt that stories about a narcissistic, erratically behaving family in the building business and their desperate abuses of power are really underrepresented on television these days. So there's that.
You talk about this a bit, do you not?
A little bit. Yeah, I kind of relate.
That's in your wheelhouse.
You know.
Well, you know, we have had two of the hardest working men in the world right here sitting at our table. That's